Oh yeah, this is a good one.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Conversations with My Cuz. I am Shayla Shay.
And it's me, your girl Michelle with the one L.
And y'all all know this is Brother Love, baby. DJ Big Ra. I don't have the sound effects this week. What's up, ladies? How are you?
Hey, what's going
What's
on?
good? What's good? We know
I
you
think you was
all
trying to sound
traveling.
extra sexy.
Oh well,
You be
you know I gotta be
trying.
doing
You
that
be
Barry
trying
voice.
with that Barry White voice.
Let me show you
Stop it.
that.
No. Stop it.
So
Stop it. Stop it.
seductive. What's going
Yeah,
on?
Well,
How
man.
y'all doing? How's your weekend so far?
So far, so good.
yeah, I'm really excited about having this one extra day because my goodness.
Oh my
We need
gosh,
4 day
yes.
work weeks. We
Well,
need to start a petition for 4 day work weeks.
Some
nah,
jobs offer it. Some jobs offer it.
nah. So I'm back down here in Florida. Shout out to the people at Apalachicola. They had a they having a Black History Festival this weekend.
Okay.
So it was,
Nice.
it was really really lit. The club's been lit every night. I am tired. I'm working off a 2 hour sleep. We
Mm.
had we had a lot going on. Had a couple DJs from out of town. Shout out DJ Gemini, DJ Big Boy from 99.3. Shout out to my man DJ Beanie Baby. We had a good time. I just want to sleep now. I got one more
Uh,
night, y'all. One more night.
then you coming home.
Yeah, I should be home. Yeah, I'll be home. I'll be home probably Tuesday.
You stay there long enough, right? You're gonna be calling Florida your home.
Well, dual residency is always a good thing. You know what I'm saying? You
Oh,
got,
listen to him.
you know,
He's fancy.
it's something like balling. I think they call it. You
Now
Mm.
he now he's Usher. He got a Florida residency. Okay, I'm just saying. All
know,
right, I hear
let,
you.
let me go to my other house.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So what
Yeah.
else has been going on?
No, man, let's just jump into the trending topic. Bottom line, congratulations, LeBron James, the GOAT.
Okay.
He did it
We
The
got to
again.
do the
goat.
sound effects.
He is the GOAT, and everybody needs to understand it. But the issue that I'm having now is that, from what I'm understanding, his teammates, they're saying that he's demanding traders for better players, and they feel the team is good. Well, you're sitting on the team with a man that done broke every almost NBA record, got the most points scored ever, and y'all are losing. We need change. We
I
Mm.
need
agree.
change. Ain't nothing
I
wrong with that,
agree.
man. Anthony Davis, he's always in street clothes. The man can't take care of himself. So, he's doing it by himself. So, stop hating on LeBron James. He's the GOAT. All y'all Jordan lovers, get over it. And
And I've seen a lot of hate. I've seen a lot of hate on the internet when he won that. I was like, wow, they really, really hating on LeBron. I mean, you can't hate on the man because he's doing the damn thing. Like, come on, you got to give
yeah,
it to him. You got
yeah,
to give it to him.
I agree.
so it wasn't this week, pardon me. It was last week. We was off the air when it happened. But it was funny about it is they take him Friday off. Everybody talk about, oh, he out there, so he deserves that. He deserves a night off. Yes, he deserves a night off. He scored the most points ever. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, sit down and get over it, please.
Mm.
Oh, I don't. He was there though. Kareem
Yeah, yeah,
Abdul-Jabbar.
yeah,
I
but
don't think he was hating. He
yeah,
wasn't
he
upset
was.
about it.
Yeah, they have a little personal. I don't know what it really is. But they got something going on, and now it's even said. I didn't get a chance to do the research, but one of the topics was is that he was mad at Magic Johnson and LeBron James for whatever the situation is. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was my favorite player in the '80s, and
Mm.
Ooh,
LeBron.
you old. Woo, you old.
Let me talk about it, baby. Let me talk about it.
Oh, now he just old and ornery.
Listen,
Old ornery.
ornery,
Ornery,
Yeah.
yes.
ornery.
That's what happens.
Just very
Over
confident
50.
as long as we done been through. We need to know what we're
Okay.
doing.
I
Okay.
agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I'm on that.
Well, I know they got that Black History program for you out there, but out here, right?
Mhm.
Well, at least in here, what we're doing is highlighting Black authors. Some of them first time Black authors, but Black authors nonetheless, because we support the industry, right? We need to make sure that we're represented.
Right.
And so today we brought in two authors. Both of them are new in the field of writing. One has a book of poetry, the other one has a children's book out. And so I wanted to introduce the first author. Her name is Shadon E. Henderson, and she has a lovely children's book that I wanted her to come on and talk about. And so say hi to Shadon, who's going
Hey,
to
Hi,
Shadon.
this
welcome
book.
to
Hi
the
everyone. Hi you
Hi,
guys.
Hi.
hey Shadon.
Hi. Can you
Well,
guys hear me?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Yes. Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
So
So
first,
we
welcome to the show. Right? Welcome to the show. And
Thank you for having me.
we want to hear about what you've been doing and how you got to writing this book, Just Winging Life.
Um. Yeah. So honestly, I just wanted to inspire children. I grew up in an underrepresented community, and I'm first generation. So with school, college, and everything, but
nice.
when I was younger, when I used to get upset, I would always write. That was my
Okay.
outlet. Yeah, I used to write poetry and things like that, but I don't know, my spirit told me to write a children's book, and pretty much that's what led me to do it. It wasn't difficult at all. Funny thing is, I work in mental health now, so I actually have client family team meetings, and like one of the meetings that I was having with my team and with the family, we were just talking about life, and I pretty much just said, like there is no rule book to life. Like we're all just swinging it, trying to figure out like what works, what doesn't work, and making adjustments. And then I left and I thought like, dang, like just swinging life, like that would be a good title to write a book. But I wanted to gear it towards children, specifically because growing up I used to second guess myself a lot, and I used
Mm.
to question what I'd be able to do with my life, but it was always like those conversations with my mom and her support, and her just letting me know that I can literally do anything that I set my mind to. That's pretty much what led me to just writing the book, and
I
there we
love
have
it.
it, just winging life.
I
So
That's
know.
awesome.
That's it.
And how many times as adults do we say, if I knew that then, or if I knew then what I know now? So I think that's awesome that you're gearing it towards the children because it's a learning tool that can help them, as they grow older. Because a lot of things I feel like we needed when we were children, we didn't have it. So books like
Right.
that, and to help us along the way. So I think that's an amazing thing that you're doing. So I'm quite sure this will be one of many. One of many. So you plan
yes.
on making it a series, or you just gonna go with a different title, or whatever? How you gonna? What's the
I'm
next
probably
step?
just gonna do different titles. Long term, I do want to be a psychiatrist. So my goal is to have like, and I want to be a child and adolescent psychiatrist. So my goal is for like my kiddos or my patients to read my books, and I hope to inspire them. But the goal is to write books. So I'm hoping, I'm trying to push for at least like one book per year. I don't know what the Lord says, but pretty much that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, I
That's
know that
awesome.
you told me that not only did you write the book, but you
Yes.
also are venturing to start a publishing company. And so I wanted you to talk a little bit about that because the author that we have coming on and the one that we had earlier in the month, that's one of the things that was talked about is actually getting themselves aligned with a publishing company because, now you have the ability to self-publish, but some people need help, right, in publishing. So
Right.
tell us about that part of your journey.
Yeah, so I started looking into trying to find a publisher. So like I said, like I'm just winging it. This is my first book, don't know what to do, right? So um I just start Googling and watching videos on YouTube on like, what is it that I need to write a book? How do I write a book? First thing was the manuscript, right? So you have to have the manuscript. So because I'm doing a children's book, I needed images. And so I started Googling, like, where do I get images from? I started looking for illustrators and things like that. But like the illustrators that I was coming across, they were wanting like 300 and up per page.
Mm.
I
Wow.
started looking into like publishing companies. I came across like multiple publishing companies, but the goal is for me to inspire, but the goal is also for me to make money. And I'm not paying $7,000 and up just for you to publish a book, right? So, and I feel like I can learn how to do it myself. So I just started Googling. Google is your best friend.
Yes, it
YouTube is
is.
your best friend.
That's right.
Literally, I started like watching videos on YouTube how to self-publish. And at that point, like I found someone to do my illustrations. So my illustrations were done. And the person like comprised everything, right? But now I needed the format. And so, yeah, just Google, like I said, Google and YouTube has been my best friend my entire way. When I got to the point that I was ready to publish the book, um, I didn't want the publisher name to be my name. And so
Mm.
I wanted it to be more professional. I just didn't want to use my name. So I filed a fictitious business license, and I talked to my mom, and I told her like, listen, this is the plan, this is what I'm trying to do. And she was on board, and we came up with a glorified book press, filled out the documents and everything like that. And so, yeah, I told her and my dad, like, I want to start my own book publishing company, but I want to gear it towards underrepresented communities. I feel like so many of them have so much to say, but they're unable to, they can't afford it.
Right.
And I feel like so many publishing companies, like, yes, you have to make money, but don't beat people. And so
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
my
that's right.
goal is to just change the trajectory of like people's lives, and I just want them to have a fair chance. Yeah, and just to change
I
it.
love it.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
love
want
it.
to. I got a question. Like, so when you're self-published, what are the pros and cons of actually self-publishing or even trying to get a book deal with a publishing company? Because
Yeah.
it's something like the record industry where if you're independent
Mhm.
or if you sign with the label, there are pros and cons with it.
Mhm.
So
Right.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good question. Glad you asked me that. So I think the only con with self-publishing is you have to do it all by yourself. And you don't have anyone like putting the book out for you. You have to put it out yourself.
Mm.
Right.
Um, but there's so many pros with self-publishing. One, like, it's yours. You don't have to split. Well, you obviously you do get royalties, right? But you get even more so a bigger cut. You have more of a say so, and yeah, you put your book out where you want to. I think it's just a matter of like what people want to do. Do they want to go with the publishing company so where they don't have to
right,
worry about everything, or do they want to try to do it themselves where they have like more say so, but it is more work?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Um, but to be honest, like I wouldn't trade it. I
All
wouldn't trade
right.
it for
right,
anything. I feel like I've learned so much, and I learned so much, and I feel like you just don't know what you're able to do until you try to do it. And so this is just like another little thing that I checked off. And so, yeah, I'm just very proud of myself to being able to do this. So, yeah.
I'm
right.
super proud of you too. I
I
think
am
it's
too.
Yes,
such
yes,
a
yes.
wonderful accomplishment because you don't know where it's going to lead you, right? And that is part of just winging life.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just got to go with what's in front of you when you have challenges and just conquer those and see where that takes you, right? Because maybe you'll
Absolutely.
just have a humongous publishing company and that'll be your greatest glory. Who knows? The fact that you have options is a
Yeah.
fantastic thing. So
Exactly.
um,
Agreed.
But tell me where we can find your book first.
Yes. So my book is available on Amazon, both in paperback or you can buy it in Kindle. So if you have an iPad or whatever, you can purchase it that way. And it is available on Barnes and Noble.
Very nice.
All right, all right.
That's
Big time.
awesome. That's awesome. Y'all go get that book. Go buy that book right now. Like right now.
Right
After the show.
now.
Like after
Exactly.
the show. Watch the show first.
But go get the
Then
book
go.
too.
Yes,
Go get
and
the
then
book.
get the book. And then the
Right.
publishing company, are you in a place where you're able to offer services to others, or are we waiting for that to share that information with our viewers?
We are waiting for
Okay.
that. I'm still working on it. I can like if someone really wanted to publish a book, like I can, I can do it now, but to have everything set in stone, I just wanted to be this is what you know that you're gonna pay for and just straight across the board. I don't want
Right.
anybody feeling like I'm beating them, so I'm just still working out those kinks. But once I have that finalized, yes, I will
You'll
be
let us
ready.
know so we
I
can
Yes,
share
please
the
will.
do. We could
information because we would
definitely share the
love
information.
we are all about support, right? So
Absolutely. And
just let us know that.
I love the idea that you're catering towards the underserved
Mhm.
community because it is expensive to publish a book. It really, really is. And that I think that deters a lot of people, the cost
Exactly.
from
Right.
getting a book out there.
Because
Yeah,
Yes.
usually
agree.
So
we have
yeah.
jobs.
Right.
That too.
So Shadon, keep doing what you're doing, and I'm so proud of you. We're so proud of you, and whatever your next step is, we are supporting you all the way.
Thank
And we thank you
you.
for coming on and sharing a little bit of your
Absolutely.
story with
Thank
our
you.
viewers.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank you
Thank
much for
you.
so
having me.
much.
It
You're
Thank
was so
you.
good
welcome.
to
You're
see you.
welcome.
We'll talk soon.
We'll talk later. Bye,
All
Shadon. Everybody
right.
say
Bye,
goodbye to
Shadon.
Shadon.
Shadon
Goodbye.
E. Henderson. Just Swinging
Just
Life.
swinging life. Go get that book.
Yes.
That's it. So you talk so smooth. Oh, this is
I love
Yes.
it.
yeah,
And
I
but
love
because,
it.
yes.
we see the chat. I see we got hello cinnamon spice.
Hey, everybody. Oh, you like
How
that
you
name,
doing?
huh?
How you doing? Cinnamon spice.
Yes.
Justice, I see you. How you doing? Thanks
Hey,
for
Jess.
tuning
Hey, Cuzzo
Shanoa's
Sydney.
in the
What's up,
chat. I
Jay?
see
Hey,
Jerome.
Shanoa. Hey, guys.
Yes.
It's good to chat. A
So
little
if y'all
shout
don't
out.
have the book, Just Swinging Life by Shadon E. Henderson, please go out and get that book and give it to
Yes.
a child because what you haven't seen about the book is really just her having all of these depictions of young children in being doctors and lawyers and writers and just in these great fields and letting them know that anything is absolutely possible. So
Yeah,
um
and
but
Absolutely. Absolutely.
in a digital age is really, we got to start encouraging our children to really start reading again.
To read.
absolutely.
Yes.
It really is. It's getting bad with this Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. We got to get our kids back. So
Yep.
kudos to her.
Yes.
Well, we also have um, a gentleman who wrote a book of poetry,
Oh,
and we also
I
wanted
like
to give
poetry. Not
him an
not not
opportunity.
that kind of poetry,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mister.
my bitch better have my money, not that kind.
Pimp. All
This,
right.
And he won't be saying the P word, okay? Just so you know.
so this gentleman's name is Haru Shai Haru, and he wrote a book of poetry. It's called Through Shy's Eyes. And so we're going to bring him on as well. And
Hi,
Hey,
hey,
how
how
everyone
are
doing?
you?
good.
How
Welcome
you
to
doing,
the
brother?
show. Welcome to the
Th-
show.
Thank you so much for
So
having me.
we are so glad to have you here. And I was just like the young lady who was before you. This is your first book, right? So
Yes
tell
it
us
is.
about your journey in getting this book done.
Woo, it's been a journey, I'll tell you that. So, so this book was completed in 11 years. It took me a while to do it.
Mm, okay.
Yes, and I wrote it because there was a lot of things that was going in my life at a certain time that I didn't know
Mhm.
any answers for. I had so many questions but didn't know any answers. So I always thought back to my high school teacher that told me, if you have something to write about, do it.
Read it.
Okay.
I love it.
And
Shout out to the teachers in the world, right? That influence.
yes, because they were
Okay.
very
Absolutely.
helpful. Hmm.
That's one.
That's
Now,
excellent.
now I have a question. Why did it take you 11 years to write the book?
Okay, that's a great question as well. So, because I would say the reason why it took me so long, because I had so many different thoughts, so many
Mm.
different things that I wanted to do in life, so many obstacles that was in my way as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a while. I had to really figure out who I was and who I wanted to be. So
Okay.
that's why it took me some time.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
And
That's
I know
good.
you had shared with me that the book that's out now is only half of what you actually produced. So you
Correct.
already have another book kind of in the wings, or
Yes.
how is that working out?
Yes, I do. I actually
Okay.
do have an. So basically, what I did was when I was writing all my poetry, I had an editor to tell me, I think you have a whole lot of poems to where you can actually
Hmm.
have more than one book.
Okay.
So then what I did was I decided to do half for one book and then half for the second book.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so
When
you're
does that
you're
second book come out? I know the first one just got here, but what is
yes.
your thought process about how you're going to get those out in successions?
Okay, well, first of all, here's the book right here on behind me. It's called
Yes.
Through Shy's Eyes. Yes, so you know how to show it. So
I love it.
I know that's right.
very
Show
much
my
so.
hard work.
Mark
That's
Yes,
right.
Marketing
That's right.
101.
I'm
Okay. Show the
I'm I'm
product.
I'm learning. I'm learning.
That's right.
Yes.
Awesome.
So I would say that what I want to do is I'm gonna have a book signing for the first one
Okay.
sometime maybe in June and July. So it gives me
Okay.
enough time to get feedback from individuals, see how they like it. If they didn't like it, what could be done a little bit differently, and then I can incorporate that to how I'm going to sell the second book. I would
Okay.
l- I
Okay. Makes
would
sense.
Yes, I would like to put it out maybe either the end of this year or the beginning of next, just to give myself some time to see how the first one goes, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
So,
yes.
Shad, tell me about the cover. Who designed it for you? It is
Ooh, oh,
beautiful.
thank you. Hold on, I'm gonna show it again a little bit up close.
Yes,
Mhm.
there we go.
I love
Yes,
Okay.
that.
thank you.
Very nice.
Okay, so what the inspiration behind the cover is because of, as human beings, we tend to go through things, ups and downs that, I wouldn't say break us, but actually makes us stronger to where we can actually propel through anything that we want. So what I decided to do is I decided to use a key
Mm.
in the mind, because everything starts in the mind. So if you
Mhm.
can tap into that, then possibilities are endless. So that's where the key came from. And I decided to use a male because I'm a male now. It's my book. I mean, it's funny because some people think that it's a woman, and that's fine because everybody's supposed to see things differently.
Right.
That's
Right. Right.
right.
Right.
Right.
That's.
Absolutely.
So funny thing is, I did that on purpose.
Oh, did
Mm.
you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I love it because you're right. I thought it was a woman.
See?
Because I thought Shy was a woman, right?
Right.
When I
Yes.
first saw it, but like you said, it is poems, especially poetry, is about how you interpret it for yourself. And so, as a woman, when I read it, right, and I have a woman's
Hmm.
voice in my head, is a little bit different from, say, when if Rob was to read that same poem, he might feel it a little bit differently and it hit a little bit differently.
It'll be a
Right.
rap song.
Right. He'll be
That
rapping
makes
it.
sense. That
Well,
Right.
makes
well,
sense.
But let
well.
me
Right.
ask you a
Go ahead.
question. Do you actually, being that you write the poetry, do you go out to like poetry readings and make appearances and stuff like that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I've been
Nice.
slowly but surely doing it. I want to get into that way more.
Yeah.
Getting myself out there because my book is to be able to help somebody because it helped me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that
That's
Exactly.
so
awesome. That's awesome. You got to get it
hmm
out there. But
yes,
speaking about reading poetries and reading poems, I think Shay wants to read one
Yes.
of
So,
your
Shy,
poems.
can
I sure do.
Shay wants to read
is
it.
it
Well,
possible that I could read a portion that really touched me?
sure you can.
Excellent. Because I wanted to read a little excerpt from Follow the Fire, which you had read for us. And
Mm-hmm.
so in it, after I was going through it again, I just was
Mm,
like, this is where I think I want to just touch on. And
go ahead.
so from it, it says, everyone sees the greatness but you.
Mm,
Everyone feels the true strength, but you are too afraid of it,
mm,
even if it is you that you are scared of.
mm,
Everyone searches for spirituality while you are born with it. And
mm,
everyone's only interest is to live with the
mm,
underlying truth that is. Your
mm,
beginning is to reach an end, and your
mm,
end is only just the beginning.
Mm,
Mm.
mm.
That's
I
powerful.
just thought that was so profound, right? I mean, the whole poem is fantastic, and there are just
Yeah.
nuggets
right.
of knowledge like that and just words of affirmation throughout the book. But
Yes.
I just wanted to share that with people so that they could just kind of get an idea of what you're bringing to people in your book. Books,
I
because it's going to be more than one, right? Books.
Yes, very much so. And I would just like to add on to that. Like I'm so glad that you like that because I I wrote that when I was still finding myself. And what I did was I noticed that when we're finding ourselves, sometimes we don't know where to look.
Mm, that's
That's
absolutely
deep.
true.
Got that right. You got that right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I decided to do is I decided to use the word fire as in as a word to use for you because you have fire inside
Yeah.
Hmm.
and it's up to you to keep that fire going.
I love it.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I think that I'm as I told you, I'm truly inspired by you and what you're doing. And I haven't read the whole book yet, but I'll get through it. I'm kind of
It's
glad
a
you're doing
lot
a
of
second
poems.
part to it. Yeah. So and
Yeah,
also
Yeah,
whenever you just do a book signing, let us know. We'll come out and
I
support. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, we'll
I
definitely
sure
come
will.
out and support. But let
I,
everybody know where they can get your book.
okay, great. So you can get it on Amazon on paperback and hard copy. It's you type in through THRU shies SHAI apostrophe S eyes like the two on your face.
Hmm.
Two.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, I love
and
it.
and also I'm going to be doing an audio book for those people who are working and they just want to hear my voice,
Yeah.
speak different affirmation just to help them get through the day. So that's it. That's going to be in the work as well.
I love it. I
I,
I
love it. We're
love it.
looking
I
forward
have
to
a
all the wonderful things you're doing.
yeah, I have a
Right.
question about that.
Sure.
What is actually the process of doing an audio book?
That part I am still figuring out, but what I
Okay.
do know is that I have someone who dabbles in that. He's going to
All
help
right.
me out with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
Michelle and I offered our services, even though we don't
Yes.
know what we're doing.
And
Yeah.
and and
Yes.
I told them both I will definitely accept it.
Yes. I can read a book on audio,
Oh,
for
right, yeah,
one
for
yeah,
sure.
one
For
of the
sure.
right,
reasons why we decided to do this was for things just like that. When you don't really know what you're doing and you're kind of just starting out and you're teaching yourself, we want to
hmm
be able to share that information with people because who knows who's going to come in the chat or reach out to us that is
Right.
going to be able to help you. And so that was the real reason for wanting to have you come on the show and highlight what you're doing is our
right.
way of being able to support you in your journey.
Absolutely.
yes.
And I have
So
one final question I want to ask you. What were some of the challenges that you had getting this book out?
Okay, one of the challenges were finding an editor for one,
Mm,
because I didn't know how to do that. Number two, finding someone to do the graphic work of the book. And I would like to say
hmm
thank you to my sister Nanika Smith for helping me with that because she was a very big help with that part. So I
Go,
must,
Manika.
Shout out
yeah,
Takes
to
a
Nanika.
village.
That
that's
sure
right.
does.
Takes a
That-
village.
yes, very much so. And also, I thank my family for being that support system to help me out.
Okay.
Awesome,
Yeah,
That's
awesome,
great.
awesome.
Yeah,
and wait, another thing as well that it took a while. That I tend to like to put a time frame on certain things, and eventually it doesn't go the way I wanted to. So what I had to do was I had to learn some patience.
Mm.
Mm.
that's a big word.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's some serious stuff there.
Yeah, we getting deep
Patience
Yes.
is a
now.
virtue. Patience
Everything
is a virtue,
happens in its
and
perfect
it's
time.
and it's
I,
perfect
I
Yeah.
I
agree
have
timing.
with
just one more question.
Go right ahead.
How old are you, my brother?
I am 37.
You're a very mature man.
Oh, thank
I
you.
know
Thank you very
guys in their 50s and ain't figured it out yet. You're very you're a very mature man and you're very enlightening.
Thank you. I
Yes, I
appreciate that.
agree. I think the older you get, I think we're
Mhm.
still all figuring things out. I mean, do you
Yes.
ever get to the point where you completely figured it all
Yeah,
out?
I got
Probably
it.
not.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
No,
that's a
no,
no,
key
no, you don't.
indicator
No,
that
you
he
I
don't.
don't.
doesn't.
No, not
Because
at
we
all.
forget.
Well, okay.
No, you
We're
don't.
gonna
No.
let
I,
that be
I
you.
think I think people die still trying to figure it out. Honestly,
Yeah.
But yeah, and what I've learned is that you're never too old to learn something new.
absolutely,
Exactly.
Hmm.
Agreed.
Exactly.
absolutely, absolutely.
Well, Heru Smith, shy
Yeah.
Heru Smith, thank you for
Yes.
coming on the show. Thank you for
Thank
sharing
you so much.
your light,
It.
your journey, and Amazon, right? For the
Yes.
paperback. And where
Yes.
else?
And well, right now mostly on Amazon. Mostly
And
on
soon
Amazon.
Okay.
the audio is coming. We're gonna be
Right.
Yes. It
looking
will.
out for your book
Yes.
signing. And when
Yeah,
you
Yep.
and
I
it's
write
on
will.
that
Kindle.
second,
Yes.
right, and Kindle. And when
And
you
Hmm.
write
Kindle.
that second book, we want to see you
Hmm.
back on the show.
Oh, I'll definitely be on the show.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Is
Yes.
excellent.
and one last thing is it cool with you if I recite one poem before I go?
Sure. Go
Sure.
ahead.
Thank you. So I'm gonna recite the one that I spoke to you about earlier, called Handprint. It is a conversation with a child and his parents about finding happiness besides money. And it's called Handprint, and it goes like this. Hey, Ma. Hey, Dad. I know I could be a lot at times. There are other times when I know, but I still appreciate the discipline. I can be silly at some point in time just to keep your stress levels down. If you are able to zone into the Future Protection Agency, I know that I lie every now and then. I'm still trying to figure out what is the truth and what should be left to the wind. But wait, I have a gift for you. No, it isn't any drawing. No, I'm not good at that, even if you think different. And no, it isn't a picture of me. I think you have enough of that already. I think your camera phone is overloaded with that as well. I still don't like that picture you took of me with the shirt that grandma gave me. I mean, I like that she bought it, but she always buys me something I cannot fit. Yes, you taught me to be thankful for what I get, but then does my character overshine traditions? So close your eyes and let wonder happen, because this is what I made for you, which is my handprint in clay. It might not be much, but I know you need it. I hope it helps you relieve daily stress. I hope it shows you that you are loved. I don't have any money yet, but this handprint will live forever. My teacher told me that, so I hope it becomes true. I know you have bills, and I know you have to take care of me, which can be pricey. Since my grandpa always say, children are costly. So this handprint of mine will be my payment to all that you already have done. Think of it as a wonderful vacation away from work. Just use your imagination. Think of it like putting a car on cruise control. So the destination isn't as important as the journey. What is cruise control anyway? Because I heard someone talking about how this car has cruise control. Hopefully, it will keep them awake on the road so they don't fall asleep. You know how grandma falls asleep in the middle of a movie? I think she shouldn't work so hard though, because the job needs her more than she needs that boring job. So she can come play with me more because I like the voices she make. It's like magic, Pa. She's able to change her voice every now and then. I don't know what that means, but it sounds really cool. I don't want to lose my thoughts, so I'll end with this. I love you, and come play with me already. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for
Everybody, go to
real.
Amazon and purchase Through Shy's Eyes by Heru Smith. Heru, thank you so much for coming on the show, and we wish you nothing but success.
Thank
Absolute
you.
success.
Thank you
Thanks
so
again.
much. Take
All
care.
right. Take care.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Okay. Bye bye.
Awesome,
Oh,
awesome, awesome, awesome.
two
Two young
excellent authors.
authors.
Yes.
I love it. I just love it. So make sure y'all go out and support them, y'all. Amazon. Both of you can get on Amazon. I think Shadon said hers is on Barnes and Nobles as well. I believe
Yes.
she said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. But cousins, I
Yes.
have a question.
You have a
Uh-oh.
question.
I have a question for y'all.
Okay.
Okay.
But you know what time it is, right?
What
What
time?
time is it? I'm trying to change my look.
I'm listening.
What do you guys think about this? How long is too long to hold a person's past against them?
Mm.
I'm
So,
first. I'm
so the
saying
reason, well, the reason why I'm asking this too is because I was, scrolling. I know this is Raj's job. He's the one normally scrolling, and I
mm-hmm.
saw Chris Brown say something about how people still villainize him and hold him, for what he did when he was 17 years old with the whole thing with Rihanna.
Okay.
How long do we still hold people a prisoner to their past?
Mm.
I guess until I'm not angry anymore. No, just kidding.
Only if it was personally done to you, I can understand that.
Yeah.
But just in general, because we can still look at people and still see their past, although they're not that person anymore.
Well, I think that just in my mind, I find out I let everything go immediately because
Mm,
it takes more energy to think negative about someone than it is to love them.
I agree.
You understand what
mm.
I'm saying? So at times, it's like when you speak to people, let's say, you see Michael? Let me tell you what I got that Michael done did.
Yeah.
You see, now my blood pressure raised up a little bit. My heart
Mm.
start palpitating a little.
Ah!
You know what I'm saying? Versus saying, what about that Michael? Mike's going through a couple things, but he be all right. But how you though? Kind of like mind your business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you really, really do. You can't hold on.
Well,
You
that
can't.
begs the
Well,
question about
Justice says it depends on your level of petty. Yeah, that plays a
That's
part too.
petty.
it
Yes.
Yeah,
can.
that's that.
It can.
It can for sure.
But there's also the question about whether or not you feel people truly change,
Okay,
right? Like
it would have to be
there are
shown.
certain, th- right? You'd have to show it, but are you really changed, right? Because
Right,
even not to put anything on Chris Brown, he was 17 when that happened, and that's fine. We all do things when we're young, and that has to be taken into account as well. Age, right? When you're doing
right.
certain things and your level of maturity. But what happens if 10 years from now there's a repeat performance of that? Does that continue to hold him in that box of being that thing? Or is it, different instances? If you're a thief, are you always a thief? If you're a liar, you're always a liar, those things. Like, how does that work?
I think that what happens if the person shows that, okay, like I'll use Chris Brown again. He hasn't been in the media. He's been in the media for other shit, but not for what he did. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
10 years from now he does it, then people gonna be like, "Yep, I knew it. I knew it."
Well,
But there's circumstances.
Yeah, but let's. Here's a great one for me. Let's talk about Bobby Brown, right?
Yeah,
Now you get a more
good
in
old
depth.
Bobby.
What no, but the thing now with his reality show, you get a more in depth understanding who he really is, and I feel like over the years he was really misunderstood. You understand? So
Really.
it
The
it's
Bobby
It's the
was
like
doing some.
media.
Yeah,
it's
and the media,
yeah,
right?
and it's that's why I said at a lot of times is it's the negative impact, and we're all human. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna fall. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So if you
Agreed.
keep holding on, there's nobody to pick us up. You
Right,
know
and
Yeah,
you made
I
a good
agree.
point. You made a good point earlier when you said that if you mention someone's name to somebody, yo, how you have you seen such and such, and the first thing they talk about is what that person did before.
exactly.
They're still holding that person. They're still a prisoner to what they did. Now, what does that have to do with
Who
you
they
in that
are.
moment and who they are
Right.
today, especially if it happened 20, 30 years ago or 10 years ago? We evolve every day. I feel we
Mm-hmm.
do. Some people don't. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some people that are still stuck in the same place that they were when we left them. We ain't talking about them.
Uh-oh, Rashe smiling. Yes, yes,
We ain't
Ra.
talking about them.
Yes, Ra.
Shay, why you hold your head, Shay?
Cause
Because
go
I don't
ahead.
know
Cause
what
what?
you about to
Cause what?
say.
Cause what?
We about to have some grown conversation.
Okay,
Oh
let's
So
hear
shit.
it.
what about you grow up and there was a young lady, being tossed through the crew for
Oh
years.
damn.
Ooh,
So now does a man turn around and say, well, you've been with seven of my guys when you was young, but I know you changed your life. I think I can love you.
Okay, well, you know what?
Or
That's a good
would
thing.
that
That's a
would that
good.
be honestly
I feel that that might factor into a lot of dudes, especially if they know that she was a pass around at some point, and
right?
or they homies ran through her, and that might make that could be the deciding factor of whether or not they want to take her seriously and say, okay, she's wifey material.
right.
Although another dude that's not from the same hood or who don't know y'all and don't know who she slept with is gonna see her as wifey material.
But see, that's not this that. But again, we talking about holding on to a past. So if you don't know the
Mm-hmm.
past, if you know the past,
If you don't,
that's
right,
that's
okay.
what I'm
If you
saying.
know the
Right.
past,
If you know the
then
past, you hold on because I'm really trying to figure that out in my
justice.
mind. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm not even putting up jokes with
No, you are
justice
not
Justice,
comments.
putting up his
Justice,
foot.
help me out with this one, please.
Oh
I
no.
need some assistance
We're
because
not, we just
I,
gonna laugh at him in the chat.
Yes.
because I really need to understand because you probably could miss out on wifey material.
I
You know what
agree.
I'm saying? But I don't know. Would I be holding on? I'd be like, let me call I was fabulous.
I
Hey.
think I think that has more to do with who you are as a person than it does with the type of person that she is.
Oh
Because
no.
Okay.
you're
Don't
holding
do
on.
that.
You
Don't do
no
that.
no wait
Don't do
no no. I'm not
that.
saying you in general. I'm just saying to me, if a person is holding that against her, and she's no longer that person, then that's kind of falls on them at that
Okay,
point. Especially
so
if wait, hold on, let me finish.
go ahead.
Especially if she shows herself to be a good person, a good woman that could potentially be wifey material, and you still worrying about who she screwed 20 years ago. That's on you.
Okay, let's turn it around. Cause see, I know both of y'all ladies, so then we're gonna turn around and just be on men time now.
Okay.
Okay, let's
So
go.
we're gonna be on men time now. So how would y'all deal with a situation? You know what I'm saying that y'all know brother Love's been flying through the hood all his life, and now he wants to take you serious, and he like baby he changed his life. He don't live
That is
like
the
that no more.
question. Right. That is
Did
the
he change
question.
his life? Did he
So
change his life
again,
And
for
that's why
real?
I asked, do you really change?
Do you
Right? Like
change?
if
you know, you
that's
know,
who you are, and then you say, oh, well, you are the one that's different. And I feel like, but you were flying through the hood a month ago, then yeah, you probably haven't. So then the
Right.
question is, was it and the question that Michelle asked was, how long do you hold someone accountable for things that they've done in the past? So let's say that's who you were 5 years ago, right? And then you run into someone that you knew from the hood, and you say, I got that out my system. A woman will consider you.
All right,
Right.
so Shay, you should have been a politician because you
But
never
no,
answered the question.
she
Would
did.
no,
She
you said
did.
I'm asking. Would it be? Would you actually say I'm gonna give this guy a shot?
Yes. She just answered it. What she
Not
said
you.
was,
Let me
okay, go ahead, Shay.
What I
Go ahead.
said was, it depends on how long ago he was flying through the hood. If he was flying through the hood a month ago, probably not. But if it was 5 years ago, and since then he's been solid in his choices in life, then chances are that might have been something he was going through that he got out of his system. And so, yes, it's potential to give him a
Okay.
chance.
Oh, that's all I
Okay,
wanted
let's
to
just
hear.
use somebody that was on drugs and now they clean 30 years, 30, 40, 50 years or whatever, however long. Are you still going to hold that against them and figure, okay, but you used to be a drug addict, so I'm not going to date you anymore?
Oh no, I mean that's something different. You know,
Yeah, but all your
but
boys and stuff, they still calling her a dope fiend. You know what I mean? A cokehead. You know?
So, right.
well,
Especially, you have to come to a point where at some point your hood shouldn't matter. What your hood thinks shouldn't matter about shouldn't have any input in your choices. But it kind of does. Especially
it
if
does.
only if I feel like if you're in the hood still.
Well, no,
But then again,
it's
no, not even that.
no, it is, but I I,
Once
I
a drug
wouldn't.
addict, always a drug addict. Somebody said false.
Well, to some degree, you always, are on the struggle,
Well,
to
what?
some
I
degree.
have to say I don't agree with that, but
Well,
we're gonna
it's
move
an
on.
addictive. It's a addictive personality. Just an addictive personality. But that's not what we're talking about today. But I think that I could too. I think I could really forget the past if
I can't
we,
get
we,
this.
we grew up.
Somebody get justice. Get justice out this chat, please.
Not you're doing so submissive. Yeah, I think
We
I could.
go-
I could forget. I think I could forget. So, I mean, because I don't
So,
hold on.
so if you could forget what part that the girl was with 7 of your homies when she was 17, 18,
Well,
and now she's 40, right? And she done gave her life to Christ.
uh,
Been
she.
celibate for the last 3 years, not really messing with nobody.
I think her and I both need to speak to Jesus and figure this
A come to Jesus moment you
out.
both need.
Until Jesus come down and let me know she good. You know?
I just think that I feel like if a person, when we were teenagers, we did teenager things.
Hmm.
If you are still doing teenager things at 50, then that's a problem. And yes, your past should be you should be held accountable for your past because it's
Right.
still your present. If you did some things as a teenager and you're no longer that person anymore, or you appear to not be that person anymore, because no one truly knows until you actually have a conversation with the person that they are today, then you're going to know.
Hmm.
Right.
I just feel like I think we do it. I think we all do it. I'm not going to, we all do it. I don't feel like I'm a judgmental person because I can look past a person's past only if your past is not your present.
Right.
So, how long should a person be held accountable for their past if their past is still their present?
Mm.
But if it's not, I can consider, and whether it's for a relationship or whatever, even a friendship, if you're operating in a different space, and that's something that you're going to be able to see. You're going to
Well,
see it.
I think it
You're
depends
going
on
to
what the
see
thing
it.
is, right? Because
Right.
sometimes it's about things that you've done, right? That people are attaching to your personality that aren't necessarily who you are. You just did something, right? Like I don't know, it could be anything. You could have been a thief when you was younger, and a real thief, pickpocketer type of thief. And that's not your bag anymore because now you got your life together, but it was a thing you did,
But
right?
see,
And you always got to share that part of your story. Like, man, I used to be getting that money,
Yeah.
telling that story. Now, Do I let you in my house? You know what I mean? Do I put away my
See?
jewelry? Right?
See?
Like, oh shit. Like, I don't know.
You see?
And they
That's
like,
that ain't right though.
and that was like, 10, 15 years
but
ago. They'd
but
be
she
like, I
like
ain't
That's
stole
but
that
why I'm
shit.
not sharing that
but
part of my life.
but
Listen, you will never know I
but
was a
wait a
thief
minute.
when I was 17, ever.
But Shay's right though, because if something come up missing, you gonna be like, yo,
You
hold
forget that
on.
person.
So used to steal.
Or even somebody that you know was on drugs. You looking at them like, oh shit, they done relapsed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my stuff is gone. Yeah. So, but I think that probably that prevents people from telling their story too, for the fear of the judgment that's going to
but
come along with it.
but
Yep.
it's funny too because when that word change is a big word, and I
It
don't
is.
I don't think people really change. I think they are more adjust
I
to
agree.
certain things that
Mm-hmm.
go on because you are who you are.
I agree.
So
Correct.
like I
I
said,
agree.
if you're a whoremonger, you're always going to be a more whoremonger. You just need to learn self control. You understand what I'm saying? So I just think that you always going to have that niche, or like you said with the thief, with the pickpocketing. Now you might not be doing that. You might be playing 3 card Molly. It could be something else that's going on, and I think it all comes down to you have to understand how to control what you got going on with
Here's
you.
a question. So here's a question. So are there some things a person can do that they can never escape regardless if they change?
Are there some things a person can
Are
do
there
that they
some
can never
things?
escape? I guess
I guess the thing that we're talking about, if you know somebody is a known thief or a known drug addict, they're always going to be associated with that.
it depends on how egregious it is, right? Because
Yeah.
like for example, when we talk about Chris Brown and the fact that he had that whole situation with Rihanna, sure, nothing's happened. But he also probably hasn't been in circumstances to trigger that. So what happens if he's in a similar situation and he's triggered? Is he going to react the same way? Or is he going to have that self constraint from a
Self
man who
control,
would
right?
never put his hands on a woman under any circumstances?
But is that for something for us to sit and worry about? Okay, what if? Because then that means that we're still looking at him as that same person, because it's like, okay, well, what if this happens? Is he going to do it again? So then you probably won't put yourself in a position to be like a woman. A woman might not date. Well, he's got babies, so they clearly are dating him.
He's
But
Chris Brown.
yeah, you might not put yourself in a position to be the person that he flips out on. I'm just saying, and that's
Right.
just
Right.
we're talking
But
about Chris Brown, but that's just for anybody,
It's for
because
any circumstance. I just use that as an
Rashe said, with
example.
change, there's always a possibility that you can go back to something
yeah,
that you
you
used
have
to
to
do.
adjust. And that's
So
that's
he in the
kind of
house like, don't make me angry.
you know, and that's
but
where it comes
Don't
in.
or
make
When we
me
talk
angry.
about healing and evolving and constantly
but
working on yourself, you have to do that.
but how about this one? Maybe he knows what people to avoid that will put him in that space.
He has to.
Because
Correct.
see, I'm like that. Like I realize if it's a friend, if I'm dating, or if it's a business relationship, if you're that type of person that's gonna put me in that space, you understand, then I can't have you around me. You understand what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because
Right.
I know I can go back into a certain space.
Yeah.
But be it if it's a wife or girlfriend, a business relationship, it's anything. So Ra is still the same person that he was 10 years ago, but Ra is adjusting to understanding what are my trigger points and everything that will be around you to understand because bad energy. You understand what I'm saying? It might not be bad to you, Shay, but it could be bad for me.
Sure.
You understand? So at times you have to really try to, and I think that's kind of what the Chris Brown situation. I really think really happens with him. Maybe he had to change a management team. Maybe Riri Mount. They argue, they fought, and she took him to certain places. So maybe he doesn't deal with a woman like that has that kind of personality.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm
Agreed.
saying?
Because again, we all operate from traumas and triggers.
Exactly.
Traumas and triggers. So
Yeah.
you have to be aware of your triggers
Right. Right.
and
Exactly.
how it affects you. Because if you're not, then you're gonna be a triggered so and so, and you're just gonna be popping off or going right back to how you used to be. So, but for us, we have to actually consider not holding people accountable for their past, especially
Right.
again if
No,
we're
it's too
talking
much
about their
energy.
present.
I,
Yeah.
I think it has it's different ways I look at it. When it comes to other people and stories that I hear about them and it isn't something that I've personally dealt with,
Mm-hmm.
I'm one to believe in my discernment about that person and I'm going to hold judgment, even though I might hear what someone said, or that person, this, that, and the other thing. I'm going to use that to say, all right, I heard that. However, let me see my experience with that person.
Right.
Once I've had that experience, and if whatever that thing is true, that's who you are to me, which is
Right.
probably not right. And I don't know if I'm in a space where I would allow that to um because you now when I see you, you're no longer doing it. To me, that's ingrained in you and it'll affect how I see you
Right.
in the world because I've had that personal thing happen between you and me.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
I agree. We
It's
definitely
like,
have to be mindful of that.
yeah,
Go ahead,
it
Ron.
is. But yeah, you got to really, like, even with family, sometimes, like, people have long time family beef. And I'm not talking to my brother, I'm not talking to my sister and all this crazy stuff. But if you really take the time to know your brother or sister, then after the years, you should understand your sister or your brother or your auntie or whoever, they are who they are. And you have to accept them for who they are. And once you do that, then it's the way you handle them. And again, you are who you are. I can only deal with you at this time. Maybe just Christmas.
Or not.
I could do one dinner. You understand what I'm saying?
For
But
45 minutes.
And then I'm gone.
So I don't want
It's
no
it's
dessert. I gotta
it's
go.
it's it's hard for me to deal with people who are still operating from the same space that they were operating in 20 years ago. I can't.
a lot of people are though, and
A lot
that's
of people
just the
are.
thing.
They
And
are.
that's why our spaces keep getting smaller
Yeah, the
Mm.
because you
circle
understand
is
what I'm
You
getting
saying.
smaller.
The
yes, you're
circle is
right.
getting
There are
smaller
people on
now.
the outer circle
Right.
now.
Because
You're right.
you understand it's like, okay, it's constantly gonna get smaller because as you elevate,
Agreed.
and then and they're not elevating, they're gonna tend to bring you down
Or try
Yeah.
to.
and put you in
Or
that
try
stage.
to.
hmm So it's like, but before we leave though, y'all didn't bring up the Rihanna Super Bowl performance, which she having another baby. I was so hurt. I was so depressed. I was so
Why?
depressed.
She's living her life.
No,
She
no,
wasn't waiting on you.
I wanted to see why. I wanted to,
Okay.
yeah. I
Okay.
wanted, I wanted to see some things. Y'all act like, and the problem is, the real problem I have with this is nobody's mentioning it. Like that's what you was waiting for.
Mentioning what? Well,
No,
you
I
haven't seen
think
the internet.
you
Everybody's going
you saw it
crazy.
right.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that having a beautiful black woman on the stage at the Super Bowl doing her thing in any version was great for me. Like,
I
okay, maybe
agree.
I didn't need the whole booty shake like you needed a different kind of performance. I'm just glad that we showing up. I'm just glad that we have the stage at
Agreed.
all.
But it seems
So
no,
as if
shout
a
out to
lot of
that.
no. I
people
appreciate it.
feel the same way you did because there was so much going on the internet about, oh, our performance was this. And I'm saying, well, what was y'all expecting her to do pregnant?
A whole lot. Well, they didn't
Well,
know, and that was
nobody
the
knew,
thing. If they
and
knew
that
she
was the
was
thing.
pregnant, they would have
Y'all
known that it
seen
was
her
going to be a
belly? Her
dial
belly
back.
was not hidden.
But
No, I'm talking about during the performance
no,
they found out,
they
but
found
prior
out.
to
Oh, well,
that,
prior to that.
people didn't know, and so there was this expectation that it was going to be a lot of,
Yeah, because I
acrobats
was
or
That's
waiting
true.
whatever.
for her. I was waiting
So
for her to take the flight suit off and come out and things just boom, gosh, and what she
What
be
boom,
you want to
doing.
do?
clash.
Yeah,
What you want
yeah,
to do?
yeah,
How go
yeah.
rock?
Hi, go.
I was
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
ooh, ooh, you know what I'm saying?
I
So,
was.
you know,
Woo!
so it was different. I love the performance, but I had to look at it again because I was so damn mad when I saw Riri. Come on, but on this note too, that I was on a plane and something came across my feed on why she's not getting paid to do the Super Bowl. And I was wondering, I now regret not going into that feed because I'm thinking maybe when she signed to do it, maybe she wasn't pregnant, and then she was pregnant, and they had to do
They
something
snatched your
else.
check.
I
Well, they
think
can't
I
snatch
think
your
that
check.
could it be a breach of contract? Could it be?
She
I mean,
performed.
I
There's no
but
breach.
They
but
can't tell you
it,
that you got a booty shake.
but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just
She
saying what I
performed.
saw.
If she didn't perform, then they could say, okay, we're not paying you.
She
They
did
can't
great,
tell her how to perform.
but she did look great pregnant. She looked fabulous. And boy, that ASAP Rock, but that's
ASAP
sure
Rocky is
that's
shooting the
that's
club
sure
up.
that's,
He's
that's
shooting the club up.
bing bing bow bow cash.
Come here.
Shout out to
he ain't
ASAP
All
give
right.
Rocky.
he ain't even give her time to heal. He didn't give her time. He was like, "What?
He
All
said, "Oh,
right,
you
6
look
weeks.
good with that
It's on the
after baby
poppet.
body."
Let's go. Let's
Yes.
Shout
go."
out to Harlem. Harlem in the building. Harlem,
Word.
Harlem ain't playing no games. My shorty wop.
Listen, y'all know we are coming to the close of the show, so we have to end the show. You guys know we end every show with a quote, and the quote we have today is, "We are all products of our past, but we don't have to be prisoners of it." We will see you guys
Well
next
said.
week.
Peace
Peace
out, everybody.
and
Deuces.
love.
Later.